Yo, what up, bitch? Welcome to my pure Gusto deck profile. I've already made like a Gusto Synchro deck profile. It was the first video I ever uploaded on this channel. But yeah, that was kind of trying a hybrid build, which is quite fun and quite aggressive. But this Gusto build I'm showing you is just a pure build, and it's really defensive. Just a note straight away, since people may have wondered, I don't have emergency teleport, so I'm not running it. I don't think it's essential, although if I did have it I would probably run it. However, I think Call of the Haunted is a decent substitute, just for other people out there. If you're playing Gustos, most of the deck is cheap, but if you want a cheap alternative to emergency teleport, I suggest Call of the Haunted, just because it actually has some perks over e-teles. I mean, it's slower, but you can activate it on either player's turn, which is pretty big since it can allow you to spawn faster once you activate it, what with being able to use Pilica's effect effectively twice before your opponent can do anything about it. So yeah, I mean, e-teles would be nice, but it's not a be all or end all. So without any further ado, here's my pure Gusto deck profile. Like I say, it's very defensive, and because it's not an aggressive build, I feel like e-teles aren't as essential. But yeah, anyway, we have 3 Gulldo and 3 Egul, our tuners for the deck. And then to grab them, we have 3 Pilica, special summoning that wind tuner from your graveyard. You want to get a Gulldo on Egul, but preferably a Gulldo because it's level 3 and you make a level 6. And then go straight into your boss monster. But you want to get one of your wind tuners in your graveyard as soon as possible, because then Pilica's live. And if your opponent banishes it when it's in the graveyard, that is very bad times for you, unless you have multiples in your graveyard. We then have 2 Winda, just because it gets you straight to your tuners. But of course your opponent has to attack into it, and because you're playing Gustos, your opponent may not want to attack you. So we'll play 2 of those, and then 2 Kamui, I think that's how you say it. This fabulous guy, yeah, that's a guy. It's going to get you to your tuner like Winda would, except it on a flip instead. So if your opponent has wised up and isn't going to attack you, you can activate Kamui yourself. So 50-50 split of sort of the offensive way of getting your tuner and the defensive way of getting your tuner. We have 1 Caam. I think 1's fine because you can recycle it with lots of cards that shuffle things back into your deck. Not to mention you can instantly get it out off of Egul. 1 Musto. You could just run it in the side deck, but I'd say it's sort of 50-50 as to, depends what deck you're against. Like, when I was against a zombie deck running Beals, like, this was great for like negating Beals and just destroying it with one of my traps at that time. But yeah, like, if it's nice to negate monster effects, it's just that if you can't get rid of the monster after you've negated it, this effect might not count for much. So it's nice in some situations, but at worst it's an 1800 beat stick, so there is that. And then the last monster, Gusto Thunbolt. People tend to overlook this card or say it's inferior because Serene Psychic Witch does its job better. But in this deck I disagree, because most of your synchros in your extra deck are Gusto monsters, and they require Gusto monsters to summon them. So Serene Psychic Witch can't even go into half of your extra deck. So Thunbolt is far more useful in that sense. Plus, this will get you to everything you need. Since it can grab Pilica for you, which is going to be your best target most of the time anyway, I think Thunbolt does its job well enough. So, that is the monster lineup. We then have, for the spells, to contact with Gusto. shuffling things back into the deck, of course, to destroy things. Nice. It's nice to grab this with Sphreez as well. 2 duality. We don't special summon too much on our turns, but we special summon enough to maybe make 3 get in the way sometimes. But it's nice to have that granularity. So, and then we have 2 supply squad. I always like 2 in these sort of decks. Like 1 is just random, and 3 can be a bit much, but it will rarely ever clog at 2. And it just makes it a +1 if your opponent attacks into your recruiters. If they don't attack, you can activate them yourselves if need be. We then have 2 MST, 2 creature swaps, a lot of 2-ofs. I say it's quite defensive, so we don't mind waiting a while, and then if our opponent doesn't attack us, creature swap. Make them pay for it, really. 1 Dark Hole, 1 Mind Control, 1 Soul Charge, 1 Miracle Synchro Fusion. I do like this card. I did play it at 2, just because you draw a card if your opponent destroys it. So it's not a bad MST bait card, failing in anything else, but there's just not much room for another one. So yeah, and then we have a Book of Mute. For traps, we have 2 Fiendish, 2 Breakthrough. We like a lot of effect negation because obviously our monsters get their effects when destroyed by battle, but getting banished or returned to your hand, negating effects like that is always nice. So I say more effect negation is better than not enough, or too much is better than not enough rather. We then have Call of the Haunted. I'm only winning 1, but again, you could put an Italian instead or something like that. Bottomless, Torrential, Compulsory, and Solemn. So we have the 4 sort of staple traps to round us off. And for the extra deck, we have Ultimate Axon Kicker. This is for the Miracle Synchro Fusion play. Not too hard to get out. I don't see it often, but in theory it isn't hard to get out, and it's pretty badass looking, and it's got a pretty badass effect, and you can get it out easily once you've got a Psychic type Synchro monster and another Psychic type monster in your graveyard. So I really like using this card. I mean, I did put 2 in my extra deck, but you rarely ever bring it out more than once, so I think 1's fine. We then have the other Synchros, level 8, Stardust, Scrap. I was running TG Hyper, but there's not much point. You're not likely to synchro summon more than once in a turn. But of course, you could sub this out for Armades, because I don't have Armades at the moment. Otherwise, I'd probably win that. So yeah, that's level 8 Synchros. We then, for level 7s, we have Black Rose, Eagles. I know banishing kind of defeats the object of the deck, shuffling things from your graveyard into your deck, but it still can be useful. I mean, the effect isn't amazing, but it's still not terrible, and when you consider that it's got 2016 to attack, it's really not the worst. Then we have, for level 6, it's 2 Sphreez. You can recycle it. I think 2's enough, but it is your ace card, of course. So good. And then we have a Psychic Nightmare. Wind types because Pilica's restriction. But yeah, Beat Stick and Win Condition, pretty much. Then we have level 5, 2 Gulldos. Not too hard to make because we have 2 Kamui, which will be an instant level 5 if it gets its flip off. But there's plenty of other ways to get it out. And then a Catasta. That could be an Armades, or you could swap a different card out for an Armades if you wanted to. And then 4, we have Falcos, Daigusto Falcos. And that is the Synchros. Then we have 3 Xyz. Rank 4. I wasn't running any rank 4s to begin with. And I kind of dislike not having a rank 4 because even though you only run 3, or I'm only running 3 at least, with Mind Control, you can grab a level 4 that way. And I don't know, there's I'll say every other game or so, there's a situation where I wish I could make a rank for. So I feel like Castal's a good choice because it's just a good generic card, but also it's win. So even if you did Pilica shenanigans, it's still viable. But of course, Lightning Chidori is also a fantastic choice. So I might win that if I had it. It seems like there's a lot of cards I don't have, but it is literally just e-teles, Chidori, and Armades. But yeah. And then we have Totem Bird, Spell Trap, Negation can be nice, and Levier, because banishing can hurt the deck, so it's nice to get things back when you're given the opportunity. And that is it. So I hope you liked my pure Gusto deck profile. But if you didn't, then sorry. But hey. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe if you like this deck profile. The next one I bring you will probably be Chain Beat or Wind Ups. It'll be something Wind Up Rabbit related, I imagine. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I shall see you again soon. Bye!